What up, OGs? Welcome back to another episode of the OG Sessions podcast. We have 2 episodes left of this season, and dude, I am stoked.
When you said 149 earlier, I was like, "Oh shit, we're approaching."
Yeah, we're recording this intro after we've already recorded the episode with David.
A humbling moment.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the promo pictures for this to come out because I am a twig compared to that big old guy.
Same.
Honestly, our promo pic should have been me like just looking up at him like face to face.
He's a really cool dude. We learned so much in this episode. I can't wait for you guys to learn a bunch as well. How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been a weird one because the heat's back, and like as a Floridian, I love the winter whenever I'm in the summer. I want the cold whenever it's hot, and I want the hot whenever it's cold. And I'm in that awkward stage where I'm like dressing like this, and I just sat in a 90-degree room, and I'm like, wait, what? I thought it was supposed to be cold, but it's been a good week. Work is work, and
I'm excited for the waves to come back. I'm excited for beach days to be back.
Dude,
I'm excited to go like riding around with the boys and like.
Which is a good segue into like our excitement for our guests today because it's summer season. We got to get our bodies right.
100%.
And you're better off than I am, but I mean, I need to
I'm
work
not that
out.
much better off, brother.
I've lost a little bit of relationship weight, and just like it's time to stay consistent and. Get big, really. Yeah. I've never I've always seen easy results in the gym and stuff like that, and like I know that I could be more consistent. And
sometimes that could be a gift and a curse though, because I'm the same way. Like if I go to the gym for a month and like not every day, but like consistently for like a month, a couple times a week here and there, I'll notice gains and I'll get satisfied.
Like quick,
bro. And I'll be like, oh, I can skip. Like I've been going like the past 3 days consistently. I'm like, oh, I can skip. And then once I skip that first day, it turns into like this downhill effect where I just keep skipping and skipping. And I think me and you could both use a little bit more dial in our routine, but nonetheless, today's guest is going to walk us through all of that. He is an absolute legend. Honored to have him on the pod today. Literal unit. Okay.
He could have taken up this whole thing. I was like, I wanted him to sit more in the middle.
I was getting kind of worried, bro, because so these couches, like we got these couches for, we got them obviously because they're bright orange. They match the pod very well, but they were actually a very affordable price off of Amazon. And they are not, I don't know what the weight strength is for these couches, but I remember when I'm putting them together, there's like 2 little screws on each side, and that's the only thing holding them together.
IKEA.
It's literally it's like IKEA. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like when he first sat down, he kind of sat down quickly, and I was like, damn, bro. I was like, if he breaks this fucking couch, he went to, at the very end of the episode, y'all can see him adjust himself, and like we all do it, we kind of adjust ourselves on the couch or whatever. And I was like, please, couch, just hang on for dear life.
I know, I got him excited too with the last question, and he was like, he got 6 inches taller sitting like this. I was like, damn, he's a big old boy.
He's a cool motherfucker, dude. Shout out to David for getting on the pod today. Absolute honor having him on, but let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the OG Sessions podcast. Today, we are joined by the man himself, David Kampfe. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Pleasure having you on, man. You're a lot bigger in person.
It's a lot bigger.
That's a good thing, though. You want to be bigger in person than picture.
True. I love the shit that you're posting on social media, though, man. You've really helped, me and Hayden, just to preface everybody. I'm sure that we're going to preface a little bit in the intro as well, but, we're trying to get into working out. Just to staying consistent is our biggest issue right now. But I've actually learned that there was a ton of things that I was doing in the gym that maybe weren't the correct form or wasn't the best thing for growth, and your page cleared a lot of that up for me, man. So
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So first thing I want to jump into is just a little bit of your background and how you got into lifting weights, bodybuilding, everything like that. So give us a brief rundown, man.
So I'm 36 now. I started competing in bodybuilding when I was 21, and it took me 4 years to turn pro. And since turning pro, it's been a rough journey with a lot of losses, but we're still making progress. I took a few years off, got married, had a family, bought the house, knocked the house down, built a new house, and now just in a really good position to focus on the bodybuilding. And simultaneously, when I grow bodybuilding, it grows my other businesses. Owning a telemedicine company with 2 brick and mortar clinics, one in Ponte Vedra, one in Atlanta, and then also having an online fitness company with coaches and personal trainers. If I'm in the best shape walking around and advertising, both of those businesses are thriving. So, I see myself as, just the best shape that I'm in, the more that I can lead by example, the more that I can help others, have their own journey. And, bodybuilding for me is just about a set of disciplines. I love the competitiveness in bodybuilding, like, getting on stage. I love that part. I love, knowing that there's somebody else out there working and there's somebody else out there dieting, and that they're coming to embarrass me. They want to beat me in front of my kids, in front of my wife, in front of my family. And I want to step up there, and I want to make them feel that, not me.
100%.
So there's that competitive aspect that, it's not like football. It's not like basketball where you have a whole team and you have a supporting cast and you're going up against another team. Bodybuilding is a very individual sport, but you still have to have the right foundation of, I tell people, if your finances aren't in a good spot, if your relationships, if your work life, if your health, if you don't have those ducks in a row, then you don't need to focus on bodybuilding. You need to get your finances right, get
100%.
Get healthy, get your relationships straightened out. Because bodybuilding will always come behind those. So if you're trying to work on relationships and work and saving money and also trying to be a bodybuilder, you're going to be miserable, and everyone around you is going to hate you.
The mental toll that it takes on people is obvious. You see a ton of people I don't know if we actually interviewed a bodybuilder on the show, but we've definitely interviewed a couple of MMA fighters, and they kind of go through a very similar process where they have to meet a certain weight.
Yep.
And they're putting their bodies through absolute hell, 5 weeks into.
Dude, I can only imagine.
I can't even imagine. That's another level. Like MMA, those guys, like boxers, like just knowing ahead of time, like I'm going in there to get my ass beat, but I'm going to beat your ass worse. Like I'm talking about flexing. They're talking about fists.
Yeah.
Like, let's put it in perspective. I'm not. Anderson Silva would kick my ass.
The weight cutting is what gets me. Is like don't they do like something with the water to like trick their brain?
That's kind of old school. The new way of MMA is like optimization. Like they're going in fit, strong, like hybrid athletes. Like George St. Pierre changed the game. The dude like could go up and down 3 different weight classes and still kick your ass. It didn't matter. He there were times where people didn't weigh in to fight him. They would weigh over and he'd be like, "Bring it on, I don't care." And he'd still kick their ass. Like
that's what to me determines like the better. There's the Perrier guy that he's just like going up and down in the weights and stuff. That's to me what makes a great fighter, is just being able to bounce between weight classes and whip everybody's ass.
For sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, like back in the day, who a little off topic, but like people like the Tito Ortiz. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh yeah.
They called him the I think he was called the Malibu or California bad boy. But Tito Ortiz, that guy, like he looked jacked and he looked buff, and he started to turn MMA into more of like a hybrid athlete sport where you could be. John Jones is like another example. Like you can be in really good shape and be a really good fighter. You don't have to do the drastic cuts. Matt Hughes, the wrestler, who also was a good UFC fighter, he did the drastic cuts because the wrestlers still do, like they'll be 12 pounds over and they'll drop 12 pounds and then wrestle, or weigh in, wrestle, and then they'll inflate like 7 to 8 pounds of that back and then go wrestle.
Yeah.
So Matt Hughes did do that, but a lot of the MMA fighters now, they do more of like a live at that weight, almost like 3 to 5 pounds away from that weight, and just be as strong and powerful at that weight as possible.
It's crazy.
Is there weight classes for bodybuilding?
No, for classic, it goes by my height. So for my height, I'm 6'1". I have to be up to 234 pounds on stage.
Oh, no way.
So if I weigh over 234 pounds, I don't qualify.
Okay, and then what's the minimum weight that you have?
There is no minimum, but you want to be as big and as peeled. Peeled means like shredded.
Yeah.
As possible at the top of your weight class.
So do you have do you have an advantage if like you're a 5'8" guy? You know what I mean? Because technically
the 5'8" guy is going to have a weight cap of like 210 or 205.
Wow, that's still like.
So
That's still huge.
It goes by like every inch is like 4 to 6 pounds.
Okay.
That the weight and the height cap goes up.
So you're competing with other people that are 6'1". Essentially.
I'm in the open, so you can be in any, just as long as you make your weight for your height, you're in the open.
Okay, I gotcha.
So we're all in the open against each other. So there's not different weight classes. So I could be going against a 5'8" guy, but he has to make his weight for his height.
Okay.
I have to make my weight for my height.
And is like the Arnold and like some of these other different events, like are they all?
That's my goal.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's like pillars to it. So you can start off by doing like smaller events and then work your way up to like the more. I guess every time it goes up, I don't even know how to compare it. Like except for doing sports, like you got the college level, you got like the minors, you got the college level, and you got pros.
There's amateurs, and then there's pro. But once you turn pro, there's some shows that have higher weight than others, that like more prestigious. Like there's the Olympia, that's like the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The Arnold would be like your Pro Bowl because it's an invite only.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So the Olympia is a qualification. The Arnold is an invite. The Pro Bowl is an invite. So like the best of the best make the Pro Bowl, or the All-Star game would be like the Arnold.
Gotcha.
There's some people would say that it's actually harder to make the Arnold than it is the Olympia, because the Olympia, if you win a show or make top 3, you have point systems and you can qualify. Whereas the Arnold, they only pick 10 of the people that did the Olympia.
Oh, I got you. So you can't even be in the Arnold unless you do the Olympia.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They only take winners.
Wow.
So if you got second in a show, they're not even going to consider you for the Arnold. So my goal is to win a show in this year or next year. And I think that my look is classic enough to get the attention of the team that would recruit for the Arnold.
What do you mean by classic?
Classic, like there's 212, which is meaning those people are like 5'4", 5'5", 5'6" at the tallest. Most of them are like 5'2" to 5'4", and they can't be any heavier than 212 pounds.
Gotcha.
And then there's my division of classic bodybuilding, and then there's open bodybuilding, which is like those guys that's the Derek Lungsford, that's the Mr. Olympia. So you heard of Chris Bumstead?
Yeah, of course.
He's the division that I'm in.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I'm in the same. We're the same height, same weight. I'm in where that's the type.
Yeah, you and C-Bum. Yeah, actually, now that you say that, you and C-Bum definitely like resemble each other a lot. Like with just
it's probably one of the best compliments, and also slaps in the faces that, I can't tell you how many times I've been in places and people will come up to me like, "Yo, bro, are you him?" And I'm like, "No, sorry." I'm like, "I'm not." And then they're like, "Oh man."
But that's got to be a huge compliment, bro.
It is
like,
in a way.
that's like,
it is in a way. Like before Chris Bumstead, I used to get asked if I was Tim Tebow in like airports and stuff, and I was like, I'm not Tim Tebow. I'm way bigger than that dude. I like Tim Tebow, good guy, but I'm more swole than Tebow. Don't get me confused.
Yeah.
And then when the first time it happened, I was in Tampa at a restaurant a really nice restaurant, and like I see a group of servers and a bartender like looking over at me, like talking. And then one of the servers sees me see them and like awkwardly comes up to me and is like, "Yo, are you an IFBB pro bodybuilder?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "David Kampfe." And he's like, "Oh, man, I thought you was Chris Bumstead." And I'm like, "No, not Chris Bumstead."
So did Chris? Did he win in Arnold as well?
Chris actually, I don't think Chris ever did an Arnold.
Okay, wow.
He's a 7-time Mr. Olympia.
Gotcha.
So he put our division on the map.
Oh, wow, okay.
And, I only competed in the division 2 years that he did. Well, actually, he's been retired for 2 years, and I started in 2023 again. So I took 5 years off. And the 5 years that I took off were all the years that he was winning. I could never compete against him. He'd smoke me. But, at my best self and my future self, I would like to say that I will be able to hold my own.
How old is he? How old is Chris?
He just retired, and I want to say he's about 32.
Okay, yeah.
I think he had his second child. He's been an amazing ambassador for the sport, just a great, quality person. He's been a leader with class. He's always demonstrated integrity and, treated all other competitors that I've been aware of, really well, and been very good for the average person in the industry to get involved. So he's why classic is where it is. And now there's some other guys that are trying to take the title and take it. And, I'm on my climb up too. So I got 3 shows this year. I'm doing the April 11th Tri-City right outside of Atlanta in Columbia, Georgia. And then I'm flying to New York and doing the New York Pro. And then I'm doing the Pittsburgh Pro.
So do you try to like stay at the same weight throughout the course of all these events, or are you trying to like bulk in between events and then like 5 weeks out start cutting?
So I'm 3 weeks out right now, 3.5 weeks out from my first show, and then I'll be 3 weeks and 4 weeks. So when I fly to New York, I won't even fly back to Jacksonville. I'll just fly straight to Pittsburgh.
Okay, I got you.
For those last 2 shows. So my whole season will be only 4 weeks after my first show.
So technically, like
I'll stay the same weight.
Yeah. So is there
Can't really make a lot of progress.
There's not gonna be like a lot.
I can fine tune things like making my skin tighter, making some areas more pronounced, like more polished. Mm-hmm. You can definitely make some changes. But I plan on doing as best I can in each show and seeing the chips fall where they may, and then get back to the drawing board. I love. To me, the criticism and the loss isn't. It's part of the process. Like it just gets you better. Because if I'm not good enough now to win, and I have to get better to win, how good am I going to look then?
Yeah, exactly.
So you just have to positively reaffirm the process. You can't look at it as it's your enemy. You have to look at it as, what can I learn from this journey, and how can I benefit from this, instead of seeing it as, like, I used to hold a gun to my head a lot in regards to competing. I used to fly out to a competition and I'd cry on my way there, knowing that I was going to, or believing that I was going to lose before I got there. And the psyche of, I've done 23 shows.
Wow.
And so the psyche of losing and then having to come back and go back to the drawing board and come back humble, knowing that, like, you're just putting yourself out there again, and you might have the same outcome, but you just got to go do it. There's a lot of humility that gets built, and I think bodybuilding, if anything, has been really good for me in that aspect, because it's shown me that I'm not invincible. And if I never was a bodybuilder and I just got big and stayed local, I probably wouldn't have the clarity that I have towards what the look can really be.
For sure. What does day of competition look like for you? Because I've seen like some behind the scenes stuff like here and there where like guys will be lifting weights like before they go out, or they'll be doing a bunch of push-ups or whatever. Like, but for you specifically, like, your body, you got yourself dialed. Like, what does day of competition look like before you walk on stage?
I look better cold.
Oh, really?
So if I go out and I'm warm and I'm hot, my skin will, like, I'll start to sweat and I'll lose my lines.
Okay.
And I've learned that the hard way, because I also wanted to fit in like everybody else and eat sugar and lift weights and then go on stage and flex.
Yeah.
And for me, it's, I got to sit in front of a fan. I got to stay cool. And then after my first like round of posing, I get warmed up and I start to look better. But if I get overly warm, I'm thrown off.
And are you not eating like that whole day of pretty much, or?
You're just gauging it based on how your muscles look and feel. So you are still eating and drinking. I don't ever eliminate anything. So I'm never like cutting water. Like, I'll always be drinking water. You're just maybe not drinking a gallon.
Yeah, for sure.
You're drinking like 40 ounces. Some people don't even drink 40 ounces a day, and they're not bodybuilders.
And is there different like I guess different competitions for those that are on gear versus those that are just natural?
Yeah, so there's organizations that do polygraph testing and urinalysis.
Okay.
And yeah, I haven't been able to do those since I was 25. So, and I never would really do those anyways. I competed natural in the NPC before. I didn't even know about natural federations until I started coaching.
Okay, gotcha. And because, yeah, we actually, now that I think about it, we did interview a guy way early on. It's like 3 years ago. He's a good friend of ours, Danny Smith, and he's a natural bodybuilder. But you could tell that there's certain things, and he's like, he competes in a much older weight class, or a much older like age range or something. I think he's like 46 or something like that.
Okay.
Shout out Danny. Sorry if I butchered your age, but he would kind of like give us a little bit of like some of the backs.
I know Danny.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he goes to my gym.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's a good guy.
Which gym do you work out at?
I work out at the Gym Jacks on Beach in San Pablo.
Definitely. Okay. I know exactly where that's at. I work out at Choose off Beach in Penman.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Super busy, bro.
Yeah, that place gets slammed.
I would love to go to the Gym Jacks one day and just like see the layout difference, because I've been going to the Choose since it was Bailey's.
Yep.
And it's always been like that, man. Especially if you, like, for me, I just want to go after work one day or something. It's like 5:30 pretty much every time.
Ours isn't any better. Ours is pretty dang busy too.
Really? Do they let you record at your gym?
No.
So how do you get these clips if you working out?
Well, I have an agreement to do it during a certain time of the day.
Got you. Okay.
So like 12 to 3 when no one's in there. Because I'm allowed to.
Because I see
like random people just with. I think you can ask management, but you just can't come in there and start recording with your phone and pull out a tripod and have a videographer.
For sure.
It's
for privacy of other people.
Yeah, privacy of other people. And they just don't want it to be a podcast. I mean, not a podcast. They don't want it to be an influencer gym.
For sure.
And there's, some people can disagree and some people can agree with that. Like, you're never going to please everybody.
Yeah.
But overall, the gym culture at the Gym Jacks is one of, people are there to work hard. It's very diverse. It has a lot of mixed, young, middle-aged, and older, and it has people that are retired to people that are bartenders.
True.
So it has a good spectrum. And the families that are in there are, wholesome, good families. A lot of them go to 1122 across the street. So it's a good environment. I've been there for like 8 years, I think, and there's never been anything stolen in that place. There's never been like phones or nothing. Like, nothing's ever gone missing from somebody.
Is there an influencer gym in Jacksonville?
I don't know of one, actually. I think there's a new gym called Lift 365. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong, but
I've seen the ads for that place.
the pictures and the videos look like they did an amazing job with the lighting. I think somebody said they had Panada. It's an Italian company. I might be saying that wrong too. Type of equipment. I've never lifted on it, but they said that it's really good equipment.
Oh, nice.
But I've never been to that gym. I'm just such a creature of my habit. Like, I just stay in my lane. But, bodybuilding for me has opened up so many doors and been an outlet for me. I think I've always told people, like, ex-athlete, like I used to be an athlete, but now I'm a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I had to kind of take the athlete mindset of, like you said, playing a sport and, having a team and doing something every day with my body. And I had to, like, find something that I could put that energy into and still, pay my bills. And it developed into bodybuilding. It didn't start out that way. It started out just with personal training. Mm-hmm. Man, I started out my personal training company in 2011, just Dynamic Fitness. And I would train people at the beach and at the park. And oftentimes I would advertise that I was doing small group training, but I would only have like 1 or 2 people that would come. And so I would like call my friends and they would get free workouts. And then, over time, people actually lost some weight and got some results and would tell their friends. And then it ended up growing. And I think I got my first location. I was at beaches, like different beach accesses and parks all around Jacksonville Beach, all the way to Ponte Vedra. For like 2 years. And then from 9 to 5, I would work with kids with autism.
Oh, wow.
So in the morning, I'd be at the beach access or at the park and then work with kids with autism from 9 to 5. I was an independent living skills advisor for APD, Agency for Persons with Disabilities. So I just was, I would help kids with independent living skills, so like how to shave, how to identify crosswalks, how to use their credit cards, how to pay for something, how to identify different signs.
Dude, that's awesome.
What a guy.
Yeah, no wonder you and Hayden get along so well. I was wondering. I was like, what? I was like, you guys do talk very well. I was like, well, my buddy's got some autism in there too somewhere.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm just messing.
And then I was one of the ladies that I was training or that I was taking one of my kids with autism to. Her name was Nancy. And she was like, yo, what are you doing with your talents? And I was like, I want to be a trainer. And she's like, well, my husband and I need a trainer. So her husband, Glenn, got volunteered by Nancy, his wife, to do some outdoor workouts. And they were my first outdoor workout clients. And then it just grew and grew. And then I got my first location like 2 years later. And I stopped working with kids with autism because I was able to do full-time out of a location. So I shared a location. I shared like like an outdoor shed,
Okay.
like a CrossFit style gym.
Yeah.
Like it was like storage center, on 4th Street and 3rd in Jacks Beach.
Okay.
Now it's a cabinet shop or something. They've changed it since I had it, but
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
right behind Wendy's.
Yeah, that used to be
Next to O'Reilly's.
Yeah, that used to be like
There's an MMA gym.
yeah, it was something like that, wasn't
There
it?
was a place called Boxing Bunnies before me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran that for like 3 years.
No way.
And then my landlord, I paid my first and last month's rent in November. No, sorry, it was October. Put a deposit down, but not a deposit. I put my first and last month's rent down as a security for a year lease on the building. And then like December 5th, I'm in the gym training with clients, and someone knocks on the door. I go to open, and I'm like, hey, David Kampfe, you have an appointment? And they're like, yeah, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I bought this building. You're supposed to be out on the 1st. I was like, what? And the landlord that I had moved to Hawaii and sold the building cash.
Wow.
And, you know, the new guy who bought it was like kind of gracious, gave me till the end of the month. So I had a month to get rid of, like, I had acquired so much stuff from, like, I built out my gym from going to garage sales and Craigslist because I had never had enough money to, you know, like make like a large purchase. So it's like, oh, I got $70 extra. I'm gonna go see if I can buy some dumbbells or go buy some barbells.
Yeah.
So I never had like a super nice, updated, outfitted gym. I mean, it was rough and tough, and it was dirty and nasty and no AC, and we made it work though, because before that I was outside in the elements.
Sometimes I like shit like that though,
too.
man. Like, do you ever?
But like going 2 years outdoors in the morning and at night, and then going into that, it felt like luxury. But then being there for 2 years, 3 years, like you can't get cool, and in the summer, and then in the winter you can't get warm.
True.
And you kind of gotta, like, it definitely wore on me a little bit, but I was never going to give up because I was just waiting to save up more money till my next thing. And this changed everything for me because this actually made me go online. So that's when I started my online fitness company.
Okay.
So I lost my gym, and I was like, what do I do with everything? Well, I had to give back a lot of money to people that I'd paid for packages that I couldn't fulfill. I had lost my first and last month's rent. I had to get rid of all my equipment. I got a storage unit for a little while to put some stuff in because I didn't know what I was going to do. I downsized into my brother's chiropractic clinic, and I had a room about this size that I would do training, and I just had a pair of dumbbells and like a couple kettlebells and a mat and a mirror.
Damn.
So I just kept like a few pieces, and I just did little small individual training in a room this big for about 2 years, and I just grew and built an online company.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tommy and Chelsea. They helped me build out and brand my dynamic fitness company, and they're still with me to this day. They just built an app for me, so I have an app on Android and Apple called Dynamic Fitness Coaching. So you can.
Oh, sick.
And my app has everything. So, you know, earlier we were talking about you guys getting into fitness, and like, this will segue great into us going into the peptide talk, because dynamic fitness is all about a lifestyle and understanding the core principles to be successful. I have something that's called the 5 pillars, and it's your nutrition, your exercise, your hydration, your sleep, and your consistency. How well do you do those 4 things? Because sleep can't do water's job. Water can't do food's job. Exercise can't do food's job. Exercise can't do sleep's job. So when someone says, like, man, which of the 4 pillars is the most important? Well, I tell them first there's 5. But which one of the behaviors is the most important? Everyone has an opinion of like, oh, water's the most important. It's like, no, you can't argue one because none of them can do the other's job.
Exactly.
So you have to be 100% on each one of them. And the reason why this segues great into peptides and into weight training is, in fitness and in anything in life, you always want to identify the lowest hanging fruit. If I'm trying to save money and I'm like, okay, I need to save $30 a month. Okay, $30. Where am I spending $5 in increments? Where am I buying Starbucks? Where am I buying an energy drink? Where am I, like, look at the small areas. Or you can look at one single spend. What am I buying on Amazon that I don't need? That should be easy to cut out, easy to find, easy to do. Mm-hmm. But if you're like, hey, I need to cut out $1,000, you're like, okay, that takes a little bit more planning and precision. The same thing is true for fitness. If you're like, oh, I want to gain 5 pounds, it's like, that's easy. I can help you do that in 30 days, 60 days.
Yeah.
But if you're like, dude, I want to gain 40 pounds of muscle, it's like, okay, that's like saying I need to save $1,000 a month from my current income.
Yeah.
How much more budgeting will you have to do with your time and your effort to save $1,000 off what you currently have? I didn't say make 1,000 more. I said save 1,000 on what you have. I do always believe in the philosophy of make more and save. Don't. If you're always budgeting and saving, you should be able to live by the 33 rule. You spend 33%, you live on 33%, and you save 33%. And if you're able to stay consistent on that, then you'll always be in a good place. The same rules apply when it comes to fitness. You have to, just like a budget, you have to understand your macros, your food. If your goal is 200 pounds and you're eating the weight of someone that's 300 pounds in macros, you're not going to hit your budget. You're going to go over your budget. You're going to go over your weight goal. Or if you're eating something that's less, you're going to go under your weight goal. Mm-hmm. So I like to try to make correlations to simple things that you do on a daily basis that can be applied towards bodybuilding mindset, towards fitness mindset, because it's habit stacking. It's little things stacking up over time. It's the lowest hanging fruit I always see people miss is hydration. After hydration, it's typically sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say sleep is a huge one, bro. I know we both
struggling.
struggle with. Yeah, we both definitely struggle with that sometimes for sure.
Let me run you through this scenario though, and this is why it's hydration's number one. The biggest epidemic we have in everything other right now, besides the cardiovascular issues, besides metabolic disease of like diabetes, the biggest issue we have is chronic dehydration, and I'll explain why. Before you go to bed at night, what do you do?
I mean, I try to drink. I mean, I'll drink
Take
some
off
water.
my clothes.
Yeah, for sure.
But like before you go into bed,
Get water.
but you go to bathroom,
Yeah, definitely.
you empty your bladder.
Yep.
Exactly.
When you wake up in the middle of the night and you roll over and you're like, oh, I'm awake. What do? Get up and go pee.
Yeah.
Then when you wake up to start your morning, what do?
Go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Usually first thing in the morning, I take a piss first thing. As soon as I
So
wake up.
we're at 3 right now. One when you went to bed, one when you woke up, and then one when you woke up in the middle of the night, and then one when you woke up to start your day. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing that you usually drink in the morning?
Coffee.
Coffee's a diuretic. Coffee sends a message to your kidneys to express and expel sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. So you're already dehydrated, and you're then sending your kidneys into a further state of dehydration. So all day long, your kidneys are playing catch up. The next little bit of water you drink, your body doesn't even know that it was supposed to go towards, it's in fight and flight. Cortisol has spiked, and the kidneys in the body are like, holy crap, 90% of my blood is made up of water, and you're just expelling all of it out of me. So before you go to bed at night, you want to take in magnesium. You can use the brand Calm, or you can drink a Relight or an LMNT. But you want to get in a little bit of electrolytes. Mm-hmm. And then when you wake up in the middle of the night, have a glass of water sitting out for you so that when you go to the bathroom, you're replenishing with 16 ounces of water. Then when you wake up in the morning and you go to the bathroom, drink 16 ounces of water with about 500 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams of salt and a half squeezed lemon and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Drink that in about 16 ounces, chug that down, and then you can have your coffee. And your body's not going to be in a fight and flight, dehydrated, high cortisol state.
And then throughout the day, how much water are you intaking?
You want to get in about a minimum of half your body weight in ounces.
Okay. Wow, actually, holy
nuts.
Yeah, I was like, damn, trying to think of that. Okay, wow, it's actually, I mean, it's not too much.
It's not that bad.
16 ounces of water time. I mean, you know, what is a bottle? Like 16? Is a bottle 16?
Yeah.
16 to 20.
Okay, yeah. So like get 3-4 bottles of water throughout the course of the day, and oh, actually no, but actually be a little bit more than that. But
Be 6.
Yeah, 6. But yeah. But either way, I mean that's doable.
It is, and that's just your standard.
I don't think you never think about the taking pisses and like you're losing water through that. Like everything. For me, like whenever, I mean, I don't know why you just don't ever think about it, but like you're right. Like you take a piss 3 times before you wake up first thing in the morning, and you're already like so far behind that you'd have to chug so much water just to catch up to where you're supposed to be.
So everyone's different, but most people are going to push out about 250 to 500 milligrams of sodium per urination. So if you go 3 times, that's 1,500 milligrams of sodium that you should be replenishing. So when I tell you to drink the electrolytes before bed, that's going to be 1,000 milligrams in an electrolyte pack. And then when I have 500 milligrams of Malden's sea salt flakes in the morning, that's your 1,500 milligrams.
How many times do you take a piss a day?
So I'm I'm a machine with this. So I do about 20 grams of creatine, about 8,000 milligrams of salt.
How much is 8,000 milligrams of salt?
That's crazy.
Well, how much salt is that, do you think?
Not enough. I can do more, and I love
This
salt.
is a salt guy here too.
Oh, dude, I love salt, bro. I will over salt fucking everything.
Salt is so important, and it's so salt is only bad if it's coupled with processed foods or seed oil fats. So if you put a salt with something fried with hydrogenated fats, then yeah, that's not a good place to be. But if it's a naturally occurring salt, or like nitrates salts, like salt that is in deli meat, those are bad salts.
Oh, really?
That's not a good salt for you. And like monosodium glutamate, they call that a salt, but it's not. It's in like a lot of Asian, Chinese foods. It's a food additive to make things taste better or taste more strong.
Gotcha.
But all of those things are really, really bad. But if you're talking like a naturally occurring volcanic salt, or
like the pink Himalayan salt or whatever.
Yeah, pink Himalayan salt, they're finding that it's so highly mined that it's lost some of its potency, some of its minerals.
Okay.
So it's not as high in minerals as it used to be. So I do a Malden's sea salt flakes. So they're naturally occurring sea salt. Mm-hmm. It's from the atmosphere. So like it just forms.
Okay.
So that's.
Do you just pour that over water?
I just take a teaspoon of it, put it in my water, stir it up, and
okay.
drink
So
it down.
it's just like a teaspoon. I don't know why 8,000 milligrams seems like
Oh,
it's like half a bottle.
So no. 8,000. A teaspoon is going to be about 2,000 milligrams.
Oh, okay. Wow. I don't know why, but my brain just tells me that's so unhealthy to like throw a bunch of, because from what I've always known is like salt makes you more dehydrated, correct?
Wrong.
Okay.
Wrong.
Wow.
So salt is the first thing that happens if you were to go into cardiac arrest is they're going to pump you with like 10 to 12,000 milligrams of sodium in saline water. First thing that they do to you, no matter what the situation is. Your blood pressure's high, your blood pressure's low, there's something going on, cardiovascular issue. First thing they're doing is pumping saline in you.
Wow.
So, and they're pumping it in a high amount, high concentration straight in from that bag into your arm. So you're getting it like to the dome, whereas like I'm getting 8,000 milligrams spread out throughout the day.
Yeah, true.
Mine's not in one moment. It also depends on like you want to build a salt tolerance. So salt, I like to explain it like this. If your baseline of salt threshold is like 2,000 milligrams a day, and then you had 8,000, you would get swollen and you retain a bunch of water and you'd be like a buffalo because your body's not used to having 8,000. But if you took in 8,000 milligrams a day normally, your body would regulate, and that would be your place of homeostasis, and you wouldn't hold water or have negative water retention or any issues if that was what you took in every day. Your body would regulate it, and it would excrete what it didn't need.
So like the first couple of weeks, you would definitely notice
You'd feel it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But building your salt threshold is healthy. The higher your salt threshold is, the lower your blood pressure gets. The better it is for cardiovascular outcomes. It's important for muscle density. Bone density and muscles. So sodium plays a role in every function, in every cellular function. So it's very important to have.
Wow.
The research is crazy. I actually was just having a discussion with my mom today about like blood types and stuff, and I didn't even know what type of blood that I had. And apparently there was like some studies translating to like what type of blood, what type of foods you should be eating. And I didn't know. I'm, as somebody who's like allergic to God's green earth and is very limited on like how much research should I be doing on what foods I put into my body, and like, is there a way that I can track what foods are best for me, whether that be blood, or is there ways that I can like track what should I be eating, what should he be eating, what should you be eating? Is there a way to like pinpoint that?
Or is there, I think what he's trying to say is like, is there differences like based off of your blood, or like everyone's different type? Like, is there obviously there's not like a template where we can all follow it and we're all going to have like the same results, but
so food sensitivities are all going to be based around your digestive health, and you have so many factors go into digestive health, your gut health. You have amylase is an enzyme. It breaks down starches and carbohydrates. It starts in your mouth, and then it also happens when you swallow. Protease is a enzyme that breaks down protein. Lipase is an enzyme that breaks down fats. So you have these three enzymes that your body makes that are specific to breaking down proteins, starches, and fats. Then you have acids. You have hydrochloric acid, you have betaine, and these enzymes and these acids work together to break down the foods and absorb, like erode it, and then absorb the nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids that are inside of the food. If you're having a sensitivity to a food type, you have an enzyme acid issue. So you need more of a certain enzyme to help break down and assist that food source. And you need more acids depending on what your symptoms are. So what food sensitivities do you think that you have?
I'm like all nuts. I can't even have like eggs in a certain capacity in certain instances. And so I wouldn't say I'm limited in the protein sense, but fish side, nuts, environmental stuff is mostly my allergies, but it also...
What happens if you eat them?
It really depends on... Most of the nuts give me my throat closings and hives. Same with fish. Most of my food allergies, hives, throat closing, inflammation, and stuff like that.
That's autoimmune.
Yeah.
What you're describing is more autoimmune. I'd be more on the conspiracy theory side to say like it probably happened in the womb, or vaccinations, or exposures to glyphosate, things that changed your permeability of your gut, because having all of those food responses that you're having is definitely autoimmune disorder. So I wouldn't do there's like a book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. It tells me Eat Right for Your Blood Type says that I should do yoga, Pilates. It says that it says that my blood type doesn't build muscle well. And then it also...
I don't trust the book at all.
And then it also says, but all the people that do the research say that A positives, which I am A positive, they said I shouldn't eat protein, that it gives me issues. And then they said that I shouldn't lift weights because that A positives aren't like anabolic responders because we don't digest protein well. So they say that like we're supposed to do like Pilates and yoga, and it says I'm supposed to eat like, it literally says beans and like lentils and radish and like carrots and stuff. And I, like if you saw what I eat and like my blood work and
what do you eat in a day?
I eat a lot of variety of healthy proteins. So I'll do a variety of egg, I'll do chicken, I'll do a beef, I'll do a whey protein, and then I'll do a yogurt protein. So I don't do like chicken for 4 meals or eggs for 4 meals. Like I like to get a wide variety of vitamins and minerals from different food sources. Proteins specifically, because the amino acid spectrum of beef is going to be different than chicken, than different than an egg. So you want to have a variety of amino acid sources so you get a complete profile rather than just relying on one source of protein to build your muscle tissue. Mm-hmm. And then carbs, I just rotate a couple different ones, like rice, a little bit of potato. Potato, for me, I get a little bit of bloated digestive issues from potato. I don't feel great on potato. So if I do eat it, I eat it at night because I don't care. I won't feel it as much during the day. But food sensitivities are real, but a lot of times it's because of a lot of contaminated issues, like a lot of seed oils, linoleic acid. There's a lot of podcasters out there and influencers right now that are trying to tell us that seed oils are okay for us, and it's really bad when like they're just paid off by these universities and these companies that want to make sure that people are still eating their seed oils. Mm-hmm. So you have like really, really big influencers like I'll think of the names while we're on here.
Do you try to stay away from seed oils as much as possible?
As much as possible, man. I can tell you like there's times where like I'll eat a food that has like a bunch of seed oils, and the next morning I'll wake up, my eyes are puffy and my feet are swollen.
Really?
Yeah, that sensitive. And I also have an autoimmune condition. When I eat seed oils and when I eat really bad, I get it's almost like psoriasis or eczema, and I'll have like these red patches that come all over like my arms, and sometimes they'll go into like my scalp, and it's all digestive nutrition related. So talk about the best 4 days of my life. On a Friday night, I had one of my high school kids He's a running back. His name's Emmett Grisman. He had a high school football game. I went to his high school football game. It was amazing. He did great. They won. And then on Saturday, I took a private jet and flew to Florida versus Tennessee. And then on Sunday, I flew back Saturday night. And then on Sunday, I went and watched Tom Brady play Aaron Rodgers in Tampa.
Wow.
Damn.
And then on Monday, came back for a Monday night football game for the Jaguars.
Dude, talk about the best weekend
Right?
ever. Are you kidding me?
By the end of that 4 days, I was swollen, had eczema, psoriasis bumps all over me. And I didn't bring enough meals, and I was eating out at like nice places, but just all that contamination in 4 days of eating off of my normal meal plan, just the same foods, same chicken, same steak, making healthy choices, but just contaminated situations where there's no quality control, and they're not using butter, they're using margarine. They're not using olive oil, they're using canola oil. You know, they're cooking it and they're using MSG, monosodium glutamate. So just all those exposures, you know, that I was swollen and inflamed and had like psoriasis and eczema all over me.
That's crazy.
And it happened so fast, and it took about a month for it to go away.
How long are you sleeping every night?
8 hours.
Okay. And it's strict 8 hours every single night? Because you see some guys, like, I've heard that oversleeping is a problem too. Like you don't want to get too much sleep on consecutive days. Is that true?
So there's 3 things you can never make up: food, sleep, and water. You know why?
Why?
Because if you're dehydrated, you needed it. Now you're rehydrated. If you missed a meal and you're starving and you're hungry, and you eat another meal now and you're no longer starving and hungry, doesn't mean you didn't need that last meal.
True.
Sleep, you can't make up sleep, because when you were sleep deprived, you needed that sleep. You can't make up because you need the current sleep now also.
Yeah.
So the mindset of like, I'm going to make up on sleep, you can't make up on sleep because you need the same amount whether you had it or you do. Like if I missed 2 nights ago, I can't, 12 hours isn't going to make up for me missing that. You just need to get 8 hours and then get 8 hours and then get 8 hours.
Gotcha.
Like you can't make up that sleep.
So you want to stick to the plan. Like even if you have a couple bad nights of sleep, you want to still stick to that same 8 hours consecutive days after that.
Definitely. Same with food. Like if I miss a meal, like you can't then just like combine like 2 days worth of food into one day and expect your body to respond the same. Like it's not going. You just got to get back on track.
Are you not eating a couple hours before you go to bed, or is that all a myth?
No, that is definitely a myth. But I will say that like foods trigger. Like carbs trigger a response. Carbohydrates trigger transportation. When you take in carbs, your body excretes insulin. Insulin transports whatever's outside of the cell inside of the cell. So if you're taking in a bunch of carbs before you go to bed at night, then you're going to lay down. Your body's respirating and transferring, but it has nowhere to go. So it's probably not the wisest if you're trying to like have a good healthy composition to have a bunch of carbs before bed. Mm-hmm. But you do want to have a little bit of glucose because it'll help with serotonin levels. Serotonin will help you calm down, feel good hormone, so that you're able to go to sleep. Mm-hmm.
Do you take any kind of medicines for sleep, like serotonin or CBD or anything like that, or like?
I smoke weed.
Okay, nice. Hell yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
my guy.
I was like, we're doing one thing, right?
I have a lot of rules for weed though. Like I never smoke before I eat. I never smoke to start my day. And then I'm just a very disciplined person with my routines, because just like anything, I can fall victim of letting marijuana get the best of me if it's task related, or if it's you know work related. Like I'm prone to maybe put something off, or I'm prone to delay it till later. And if I'm not stoned, I what else am I going to do besides do it?
Yeah.
So, I definitely budget my time, and, like I said, I have 3 kids. So, my days start at 4:15 in the morning, 4:30, and I make 3 breakfasts, 4, one for myself, 5 actually. I have a dog. And I make my wife breakfast. I make my daughter's breakfast, and then take the dog for a walk, get myself situated. I always do everything the night before, most of my own personal routine the night before.
Okay.
Because I'm a really big believer in decision fatigue. If I have to think about decisions, your brain's gonna choose the easiest one the path of least resistance. So we talked about low-hanging fruit. If you want to be successful with nutrition, you have to meal prep. Why? Because the psychology of knowing you made food and it's in your fridge and you spent time and money on it, you're going to eat it, even if it's not as good as Chipotle. Yeah. You're going to eat it. And if you go into your kitchen and you're like, oh, I'm really hungry right now, and you see like some stuff you shouldn't eat, and then you see some stuff you should eat, but the stuff you should eat isn't cooked yet, and the stuff you shouldn't eat is, you're going to choose the stuff you shouldn't eat because it's convenient.
Yeah. Preach.
And so you got to make sure that you set yourself up for success in those moments of like, hey, what's my tendency? What's my fallback? Like, what am I call it self-defeating behaviors. What behaviors do you have that you do regularly that are self-defeating? Like, my goal is weight loss, but I don't meal prep. Well, that's a slap in the face. If your goal is weight loss, if your goal is weight gain, then I don't think that you actually have to meal prep to the same degree. But I still think you should cook a breakfast and a dinner at home. If you eat your lunch out, that's fine because you're not trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
But if someone's trying to lose weight and like get their metabolism in a healthy spot, it's really important that they meal prep because that's the only way you're going to understand like what you're taking in. Like, people do not realize when they go to Chipotle and they get a bowl and it's got sour cream and cheese and that corn and a little bit of guac, and if like they don't realize that in that bowl with that protein, you're looking at around 1,000 calories.
Wow.
And
yeah,
that 1,000 calories, their metabolic rate at that moment might handle 400. So that extra 600 is not gonna get absorbed. It's gonna store as body fat. But if you took that same meal and you ate half of it and then ate the other half at dinner, they could handle it. They'd be okay. It's just portion control. And most of the time, fast food restaurants all restaurants are strategically designed to load you on certain foods that are inexpensive so that it satiates you to the degree, and carbs are always the cheapest ones.
Yeah, fries. I've seen this before. Like,
just carbs, rice.
Yeah.
Tortilla. Like any carbs are going to be the cheapest way, and breads, anything. So like, you're falling for the trap if you're like, oh yeah, they gave me all of this. It's like, yeah, on purpose.
All the bullshit. Yeah,
exactly.
Hayden needed to hear this so bad it's not even funny.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to, before we veer off of this topic, that it didn't mean to cut you off if you had a question or whatever. But what are you feeding your dog? Because I don't have kids or anything like that, but I do take my dog's food into like that is where I go crazy. Like, we, shout out to Cassidy. I know that she works with you a lot too. She cooks fresh chicken for the dog once a week. So we've got a ton of fresh chicken for him. We do a couple drops of CBD. We blend up peas and carrots because he doesn't like the.
So your dog's eating better than you?
My dog's eating way better than me.
Looks like we got to change something.
Bro, my dog's eating like a fucking king, bro.
If
you have no idea.
Mimic your dog's nutrition
but
plan.
Here's what I will say is like my dog, and Cass has gotten me a lot better lately. So I'm probably at the same level as a dog right now. But the cool thing about it is like I notice it with my dog as well, because like there's been times where like I wasn't making as much money and my dog was eating just as shitty as I was in a way, and just looking at him now, like his energy levels, like his coat, the way his fur is, like there'll be spots where like he'll itch himself too hard and he'll lose a little bit of fur, but it like grows back so much quicker than he used to. And my dog's going on 13, like
wow,
acting like a fucking puppy now, bro.
That's awesome.
Just because of the way that we're feeding him. But I'm so curious what you feed your dog.
So what kind of dog do you think I have?
Oh, I bet you have some big ass Rottweiler.
I have a Cane Corso.
What is that?
Italian Mastiff.
Oh, okay, yeah, big ass
dog. 145 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. And
More than me.
Her name is Sage, and they have a PSI of 700. So their PSI, like a pit bull, is only 300. A Rottweiler PSI is their bite strength.
Oh wow, okay.
So they're the only dog stronger is a Kangal, and then Italian Mastiff, Cane Corso, and like a Rottweiler is only 300.
Oh wow, okay.
And a Lion's only 780.
Jesus.
Okay, so this is like
they can break bones.
How do you make a big man scarier? Big ass dog.
Exactly, bro.
Her jaw is like the size of my fist on both sides.
Have you ever like tried to play tug of war with her and just cannot?
I can't. I can lift her up, but she's 140 pounds. So I'm doing like a front raise, trying to lift up a 140 pound dog. I'll show you pictures and videos.
I would love to see. I
dance with her. She's like about to be 2 years old in August or July. In July, she'll be 2 years old.
So what are you feeding Sage? Sage,
So,
right? That
yeah,
was the name?
Sage. She gets a mix of kibble and beef and egg and
Raw egg?
raw egg and
I'm so glad you said this. Cass was giving me so much
Chicken
shit
breast.
for wanting to give my dog raw egg, but it's like dogs love raw egg.
yeah, she licks it up first. Like she licks all of it off. She doesn't even eat the meat or eat the food. She'll just lick everywhere to get all the egg, and then she'll eat it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, what? I watched her one day. I was like, what is she doing? She's moving all the food around. She's just licking.
The icing.
And then after, yeah, exactly. And after she ate it, but Sage is actually really picky, man. So like, she'll go through spout times where like she'll do great with beef, and then she'll like look at it and won't eat it, and then I got to rotate her to chicken.
It's
So, like,
cooked beef, right?
Yeah, cooked
Okay.
beef, and we did do some raw with her, but she didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, she didn't like it.
That is crazy. Because yeah, my dog
Like
like
she didn't like. We tried to give her like chicken heads and chicken feet, and we tried to do some stuff like that, and she just would play with it.
really
Like just play with it, bro.
see any.
But I have 6 chickens, and she walks their coop, wants to kill all of them.
Yeah,
She got one of them. There was one out, and she got one of them, and she was chewing it and playing with it, and it lived. It's got like a huge patch missing of feathers.
that's crazy.
Had a little bit of blood, but she didn't kill it. I came outside. I heard. We have 6 chickens. I put all 6 chickens in the coop. I thought I put 5 in the coop. I must have left one out that night. I let the dog out at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then all I hear is a squealing, and I'm like, what the heck? I was like, how did she get in the coop? And then I run out in the yard, and I got my phone flashlight, and I see Sage running, and I see the chicken in her mouth, and I'm like, oh no! And I finally got the dog, and she was tossing the chicken like she was a killer whale, like playing with a seal. Like,
What kind of chickens do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I got like buff Orpington. I got speckled Sussex. You're so funny. I named 2. I'm surprised I even got 2.
Well, because we had,
I got 6. I got 6 different ones, 6 different species.
growing up, we had Rhode Island Reds at the house, and dude, their eggs were just like so fucking good.
Yeah, we get an egg a day from each chicken, so
Yeah.
we're really lucky.
Yeah, it's great, man. I don't think we ever bought eggs during that time period because it was just, I mean, we weren't eating eggs every single day, but
They'd
yeah,
stock up then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you're getting 2 eggs every 12 hours or whatever
Yep.
the case was, it's like, dude, you can't beat that shit, man.
For sure.
And just a nice little cheat code. But yeah, I always like to ask people what kind of chickens they have because like I got so big into the chicken, like, you know, I loved my chickens back when we had them, and they were actually legal or illegal in Jack's Beach. And so that's why we had to get rid of them. Our chickens actually got arrested. Technically, my chickens got
We
arrested.
have a permit for ours in Jack's Beach now.
Oh, that's badass.
So my wife went to the course for it because we wanted to. She plays by the rules.
yeah.
But the 5 pillars, what we talked about, the nutrition, exercise, sleep, hydration, consistency, how well do you do those 4? The reason why I brought that up was also to tie it into the Dynamic 3 Health. We are a nationwide telemedicine company. We have patients in over 42 states. And what makes us unique is every one of our patients has medical oversight for their peptide prescriptions. So in the news right now, you see all of these in the news. In social media news, you see like companies like Amino Asylum that shut down, Research Chem that shut down, Peptide Science that voluntarily closed their doors, because the FDA is cracking down on these research use peptides. People are going to the hospital for overdosing and taking too much GLPs because they don't know how to constitute their products. They don't know how to mix backwater and then do math on how much they're supposed to take. And,
Yeah.
you know, so when you get a product from us, it is coming directly from the pharmacy to the patient. So they don't have to mix any water. They can just stick the needle in and start their process. Mm-hmm. And so having that medical oversight is really what makes our company so unique right now and placed really, really amazing for where the industry is, because all of these influencers that have been peddling these research use peptides now need a home to go to. And so, and all of the patients all of the people of the public that were buying them, because they're not patients unless you have oversight.
True, yeah.
So all of these users, we'll call them research users, are going to soon need a source for their peptides, because the reason why the research use peptides are illegal and not for human consumption, they say it on the bottle. They say research use only, not for human consumption. And then when you buy it, you sign a disclaimer saying, I am not taking this. I'm not going to inject this. But they'll send you the vial, the water to mix it, and the syringes. So there's complete intent.
Yeah.
But you're telling them you're not doing it because you're signing your liability away because it's for research use. So when it's for research use, there's no endotoxin screening. There's no heavy metal testing. There's no sterility testing. There's no oversight of the facility. So I could be making it out of my garage or out of my bathtub and selling it as whatever. And there's no one that's going to be able to tell me that it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I can put a label on it and I can ship it to your house and you can buy it from me. And I made money and you got sick.
Yeah.
So
Dynamic 3, you guys have to go through all of those.
Well, we get it through pharmacies.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So our pharmacies are all FDA approved pharmacies. We only source FDA approved pharmacies. So our products have sterility testing, endotoxin testing, mold testing, all of the oversight on the inspections of the facilities to make sure that all of the standards are met and you're taking what they say is in the bottle. I know of people personally that have ordered research use peptides and they said on the bottle one thing and they got it tested and it wasn't what they ordered.
Really?
Oh, totally, man. All the time.
And that can be like detrimental, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Like it can probably really fuck your body up.
You die.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's been any death cases, but you can definitely, like you said, you definitely mess yourself up. And most peptides are regenerative health peptides, so like they don't have a lot of side effects from taking them. Mm-hmm. But if you're taking something that's not what you expected to take, that's just not ethical.
Oh yeah, no.
So it's like if I'm buying something and I'm expecting it to work on my immune system, and then I find out that it's something that helps, like either build muscle or burn fat. The problem isn't that it helps muscle burn fat. It's that I thought I was buying something for my immune system.
Yeah.
And there's no oversight when it comes to research use because there's no one that's monitoring it. There's no agency that says this is what it is. Mm-hmm. Whereas where in my world of medical oversight and medical peptides, the pharmacies have to meet certain standards that are approved by the FDA. And then our medical physicians have to approve the patient to be qualified to take the peptide. So take for example, patient Jill loses weight on tirzepatide. Her neighbor, Elizabeth, says, oh my gosh, Jill, you lost weight. What'd you do it on? Tirzepatide. Ooh, I'm going to go take tirzepatide. But she doesn't know that it has a kidney, she also is on a kidney medication. She has poor functioning renal failure. Like her kidneys aren't working well, but she still needs to lose weight. If she goes and takes that GLP that she buys from a research use website, she could be very, very sick because you can't take it and have kidney issues. That's a contraindication. That would not get you qualified. So if Elizabeth came through my company and she went through medical screening and it got to medical questions and issues and she answered that she had a prior history of kidney issues, it would flag and she would say, hey, respectfully, we're protecting you from yourself.
Yeah.
So medical oversight is there to protect the patient from themselves because just because your neighbor or your best friend took something and it worked for them doesn't mean that it's right for you.
Mm-hmm. True, yeah.
And on the spectrum of getting it for research use, just because it's easily accessible, just because this website says it has it, doesn't mean it's as equally beneficial because you only know enough to get yourself into trouble probably. There's somebody else that can understand maybe what the root cause is. And if you're taking a GLP and you're not eating correctly, 95% of the side effects from taking a GLP, semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide, from taking any one of these, 95% of the side effects are mitigated by lifestyle. So it all comes down to what are you doing with yourself?
True.
If you're dehydrated, if you're not getting in enough protein, have you ever heard of Ozempic face? You guys ever heard of that? Or
Scott
Ozempic
Disick.
butt?
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
Scott Disick is,
Dude,
Exactly.
Lady
yeah.
Wilson, bro. Lady Wilson lost her fucking dump truck from Ozempic, bro. I hate Ozempic.
So you don't hate Ozempic. You hate how they used it, because I can show you somebody that took Ozempic that built muscle while taking it.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. I got in-body scans for days for people that take GLPs that build muscle.
Wow.
You can build muscle on a GLP. I start one.
What is a GLP? It's like
a GLP is a peptide your body makes. So GLP is semaglutide.
Okay.
And then GLP plus GIP is tirzepatide. And then GLP plus GIP plus glucagon is retatrutide.
Okay. And what do those three things help with?
So GIP tells your body that you've had enough food, you're satiated. You look at a meal and you're like, man, I think I'm full.
So that's for weight loss.
Well,
or would help with weight loss.
Would help with weight loss, yes. But then
curb appetite and stuff.
Correct. And then the GIP is going to help with insulin sensitivity and help with glucose partitioning. So it's going to help utilize the food better.
Okay.
And then glucagon is the same. It helps with boosting your metabolism, and it helps with using free fatty acids for energy and allowing glucose to go to the muscle so that the muscles can use glucose and the body runs on fat. Your body naturally makes GLP, GIP, and glucagon. They're already naturally occurring peptides your body makes. When you take them in the form of an injection, you're just getting a higher concentrated amount than your body's making naturally right now.
Gotcha. I see. It's just a little booster. Just something to kind of turn it
exactly.
up a little bit.
Turn it up a little bit. So,
what kind of peptides are you on, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, I'm full disclosure. So, right now, because I'm in prep, I take BPC 157 for recovery and to keep my body and my inflammatory state less lowered. I take glutathione because I'm on some anabolic steroids, testosterone. So glutathione is known as the master antioxidant. It is going to nourish and replenish and detox your liver. Why is that important? Your liver is what filters out your blood. We already said your blood is made up of 90% water. When you have fat-soluble toxins, glutathione makes those fat-soluble toxins water-soluble so that your body can transport them out through urine, through sweat.
Okay.
So glutathione is known as the master antioxidant because of what it does to reactive oxygen species and what it does to free radicals and what it does to improving the blood itself.
Okay.
So I take glutathione because I need it to nourish my liver and to keep my blood healthy. BPC for recovery and health and healing. And then I take a peptide called MOT-C. It's known as an exercise mimetic. Your body naturally makes MOT-C when you work out. I take it before I work out because it also helps with mitochondrial expression. So it's going to make my body, it's going to give my body a little bit of a boost while I'm working out so that I won't be as tired, I won't be as fatigued. Think of it as not a stimulant like caffeine. Think of it as a assistance to recovery for glucose. So your body's going to use glucose better in the workout, and you're going to have better oxygen to the muscles. And so therefore you're going to drive more fatty acids, and you're going to have better metabolic energy in your workout.
Got you. I see.
And then I take two more peptides right now. I take NAD. I take NAD with MOT-C on purpose because NAD is it's a B enzyme. It's a coenzyme actually, a B coenzyme, and it is the final form of transfer of energy. So it is present in every cell of the body, and as you age, your NAD levels diminish. Lifestyle, genetics, sleep, food, everything affects stress. All of it affects NAD production.
Gotcha.
When you take NAD with MOT-C, it's kind of like supercharging jet fuel.
Gotcha.
So they work very well together.
If you were to get off any of these peptides, is that like, does it fuck with your body? Like, do you have to stay on these peptides forever once you get on them, or like, will your body know what to do once they're gone?
So that's the amazing thing about peptides that makes it so much better and different than other supplements and such. There's no setback system. So a setback system is like a withdrawal system. If I take 1,000 milligrams of caffeine for a week straight and then I cut it to none, I'm gonna have a headache. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have some withdrawals. If you take MOT-C, NAD, and you stop taking it, you're just not gonna feel as much energy. It's not gonna feel like you need to go take a nap all day, and your levels are gonna stay elevated for weeks after you stop taking it. It's not a crash, because think of NAD and MOT-C as You remember when we used to have to mow the lawns by hand and you'd have to push the primer?
Yeah.
And it would flush the engine
Yep.
to prime it. Think about that's what it's done for so long. So imagine you've been using it. When you get out there the next time, you don't have to flush it as much because it's been used to it.
Gotcha.
It's ready to crank.
Yeah.
So the same thing with taking these peptides, it's really important to cycle them. You don't want to stay on there's some peptides that you can stay on indefinitely. Like you can stay on BPC 157 forever. You don't have to come off of that one. You could potentially stay on glutathione in a low dose forever, but you'd want to give your liver a break because it's also increasing the detox capacity of your liver by taking it.
Gotcha.
So you don't want to overwork your liver also.
What about the people that aren't good with needles? Like, is there a way to take in these peptides if you aren't good with needles? Like, I'm fine with needles, but I know there's people out there that have like a fear of. Oh, really?
I hate needles.
See, I didn't even know
take
that.
shots. So yeah, I don't want
So there are some peptides that can pass the blood-brain barrier and get absorbed through the stomach lining, or through the digestive system. But most peptides and most even vitamins, vitamins and minerals. That's why getting your nutrients from whole foods, because of the enzymes and the acids that are required to break it down. Like there's studies on eating oranges and kiwis for vitamin C versus taking vitamin C supplementation. And you can take in half of the amount of vitamin C in an orange, a fifth of the amount of vitamin C in an orange or a kiwi, and get the same absorption as taking 5 times the amount in a pill form.
Wow. So if you can get it naturally through the food you're eating, it's like that's the way to go all day.
Because your body knows what to do with it. When you take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C to the dome, it's like trying to take a sip out of a fire hydrant.
True. Yeah.
Like you're going to get splashed.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get it all. It's going to be really hard. You can't just get a little sip.
And are these peptides, do you take them like every day? Like I've never been on a peptide or anything like that, but like are you
So
taking
there are
peptides?
some that you take every day. There's some that you cycle 5 days on, 2 days off.
Okay.
There's some that you take, like the GLPs, you take twice weekly. You break it down to like Monday, Thursday. Testosterone, same thing. You can break that down to 1 to 3 days, 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days a week. So it depends on the compound, but most of the time the peptides you're going to take, most of them you're going to take daily in a micro dosing amount. So you're letting it build up in your system over time. You're not like getting a big punch at once.
Have you ever done TRT? I don't know if that's the exact.
I'm on.
name for it.
So in my off season, I would be on like what would be called like a testosterone replacement therapy amount, which would be like a 200 milligram amount. But then when I compete for like a bodybuilding show right now, like I'm taking 500 milligrams.
Okay. And I've seen people like we've had like people that are our age and like friends of ours that will get on TRT.
How old are you guys?
27.
Yeah, I mean that's if they qualify and if they're getting it from a practitioner. Like, shout out to our medical director, team Aurora, Dr. Aurora. His team is amazing because what we do for our patients is not just pushing testosterone or prescriptions. It's called hormone replacement therapy, and under hormone replacement therapy, one of the categories is testosterone replacement therapy. But I have so many amazing patients that have came to us thinking that they wanted to get on testosterone and take a shot with a needle. And our providers, Aurora and his team, will look at the blood work and they will make a critical thinking decision, and they'll say, let's try this patient out on enclomiphene first. And the patient will go from 300 to 900, and then they no longer need a shot. And so rather than getting dependent on a shot at 27, we put them on a different route, and in like 3 to 5 years, that same route might get them, it'll depreciate. Mm-hmm. So right now it might got them to 900, but 3 to 5 years later, it might be at 700. Mm-hmm. And then 3 to 5 years after that, it might be at 500. So then they're at 40. Then they're ready for the shot.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So you can delay the process and still keep your levels elevated with other therapies.
Gotcha.
You don't have to just do testosterone shots to raise your test.
Okay.
The importance of like the oversight is really intriguing to me because I recently just got put on like the Peptides world, and it's just these 21-year-olds on, TikTok.
Bro,
and they're streaming
nothing.
and
they know nothing.
Like, to me, it's all about safety, and that's what kind of drove me away from it. Is I was like, these kids are reportedly got like a legal methamphetamine is like a stimulant, and like they're out here telling kids on TikTok to go take these look into these things. and I love to hear that you have that medical background and that oversight for people and your patients, because it's a world of, like you said, there's people that are showing up to the hospitals overdosing and stuff. Like, how important is the medical side to it and the research side of it? Because as somebody who thought about it but then got, trade away from the safety of it, how important is the research and the medical side of things?
It's the most important, because it all goes back to what I said earlier. Medical oversight is protecting you from yourself. You're going to have a temptation to want to expedite a situation, want to streamline something, whether that's building muscle, burning fat, getting healthy. Like, if you're really sick, don't you want to get better as soon as possible? Mm-hmm. Well, there's some peptides out there, one of them called thymosin alpha-1, that tells your thymus gland, which controls your immune system, essentially, to function on a high level. So there's some peptide protocols that, like, if somebody is traveling, they're going overseas and they know they're going to be missing sleep and getting some exposures, like, you take some thymosin alpha for 10 days or 2 weeks, depending on the protocol, before you go on your trip, and you can get blood work done and see like a 300% increase in your immune cells that are going to keep you from getting sick.
Wow.
So, like, there are preventative, I like to call it, we are preventative, regenerative, and performance-based. So we prevent you from getting something. Mm-hmm. We're regenerative. If you have something, we can fix it. And then we're performance-based. If you want to excel at whatever your sport or goal is, whether that goal is optimization, better memory, better recall, better performance, better sleep, whatever it is, will help your performance. So if you have the right medical oversight and you have the right protocols in place, then you're setting your patients up for success. And that success is going to be how your business thrives. If your patient population is not cheering about you from the rooftops, your business isn't going to work. Like, it has to be built on other people's success stories.
Yeah.
And if you're expecting to build a strong company that does not provide well-rounded medical oversight, and the reason why I say well-rounded, as in lifestyle guides, like, what makes our company way better and different than everyone else out there is everything we talked about with health and nutrition, we give our patients when they get a product. So if you get a BPC guide, if you buy BPC from us, you're going to get a nutrition guide that's going to explain, like, if you're taking BPC to lower inflammation, but you're going to go to Burger King and drink soda, and the BPC is not going to work, you can't blame the BPC.
Yeah.
It can't counteract McDonald's and soda, but then also go to heal prior issues. You're just canceling it out. It's just not even having anything to do.
Yeah.
So there's a way to respect peptides and use them as a accelerant, or as something you add to your base. It can't be your base. Like, you can't be like, oh, step one, I'm going to take BPC 157. It's like, well, are you hydrated? Are you eating inflammatory foods? Because if you're eating inflammatory foods, BPC is not going to work. You got to cut that out first. Mm-hmm. So there's levels to taking peptides that people need to understand and respect, so that they can get the benefit that they're actually looking for. And if you don't have the right oversight, you're going to just take a shot and expect it to be a miracle. And then when it doesn't work for you, you think the compound didn't do its job, when really you didn't have the right understanding for how to utilize the compound efficiently.
Which will then turn into them blaming Dynamic 3 because they're like, oh, nothing fucking works.
Correct.
But by you giving them like the guideline and being like, this is the correct way to take this peptide. I like that you do that. That actually makes a lot better than getting advice from a dude on TikTok. That's for sure.
I'll turn back around and look into it again too, because that was my biggest thing, was safety.
So it's actually, we have a partner pharmacy that we work with right now that just made food. The FDA can't ban these because they're labeled as food, so they're dissolvable strips.
Oh wow!
And so,
you put them under your tongue or something? Like
yeah. They're, or they I've done that.
True. That could work.
It's a little bit different, but the strip looks different and it feels different too. But
we'll go down in that rabbit hole another day.
But yeah, we can totally do it on that one.
Yeah, let's wait for the cameras to be off. But that's a good idea.
But it looks like a strip, and it dissolves. You can put it against your gum line, underneath your tongue. But there are other alternatives, and that nanotechnology gets absorbed through the salivary glands in the mouth. It doesn't go to the stomach. So there's a couple peptides. Like, we have the only source for FDA approved oral BPC 157.
Wow.
It's New BioAge, this company that we partner with, this pharmacy. It's the best of the best. There's some other pharmacies that are now coming out with this, but there's a patent on a product called SNAC. I'm not even going to try to say the word. SNAC is an acronym for what it is that's inside of it.
Damn.
But SNAC is the only thing that has made BPC pass through the stomach and still be absorbed. So if you buy any BPC over the counter and it doesn't have SNAC in it, it has no efficiency, has no effectiveness, because the only one that's passed testing for it to go and have effectiveness in the stomach and have absorption is the only one that's patented with this SNAC in it. All others lose 96% of absorption.
Wow.
Damn.
So you're getting 4% of what you're taking at most.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
And when you put it with SNAC, they're getting upwards of 89%. So there's only losing 10 to 11% total degradation on the absorption of it. So 89% or 4. I mean, that's a big difference.
Gnarly.
When you're doing an injection, you're going to get 100%. Unless there's degradation in the length of the time that the bottle's been. Peptides break down pretty quick. There's like 30 to 60 days, depending on the puncture, that a peptide will last you. So, but if you're using it how it's supposed to be, it shouldn't last you that long anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
The bottle. But
so whenever you guys are y'all pulling like the syringe full of the thing before, like right before you send it off or whatever, or does it come to you guys already in the syringe?
It comes in a bottle, and then the syringes are with it, and then you just pull your own.
Oh, gotcha.
But you don't have to mix anything with it like the research companies.
I see. Okay.
The research companies, you buy a bottle with powder in it, and then you buy a bottle with water, and then you buy syringes, and then you mix the water into the powder, and you have to do math and convert the milligram into milliliters.
I see.
And then you have to do your own injection. Whereas when it comes from a pharmacy, it says this is 2 mLs with 10 milligrams, inject 10 units 5 times weekly.
Gotcha.
It comes with instructions, how much to do. It's very simple. You just draw and do it. You don't have to do math.
That's cool. One question that I have before we get out of here, unless you have something else as well.
The only little small question I had is, like, this is something, like, if I were to, start doing it, is it something that you kind of have to gain tolerance or, like, I guess increase amount to kind of, or I guess, like, as you just mentioned, like, there's some that last 60 days. I guess, do I have to take double the next, or do I have to increase my dosage?
No. So there's different protocols for certain, if you have, like, chronic condition and you've had it for 10 years, it's kind of like the analogy we used earlier. If you want to lose, like, a lot more weight, or if you want to put on a lot more weight, it'll be more drastic of a lifestyle change. Same thing is with peptides. If you have a chronic condition that's been there for 10 years, it's probably going to take more and take longer to fix it. But if you've had an issue for 6 months and it just came up, you can probably fix that in half the time, 3 months, because it's a new issue that you caught early. But if it's something that's been chronic and ongoing for a long time, it's probably it's gonna take a little bit of a journey and a little bit of a while to pull back those layers and get that healing the way that you want it.
How safe is SARMs?
The worst things in the world. Don't ever take them. They're
Really?
so bad for you.
Yeah, because
it stands for selective androgen receptor modulator, and SARMs never passed any rat or mice studies because they all grew cancer and tumor, and they're like, I've seen SARMs ruin people with acne, with blood work, with testicular hypertrophy.
What is that exactly? Like, what are SARMs? It's like I thought it was like a mild type of steroid or something like that.
Well, they were touted as like steroids without side effects, but it's all a big lie, and they're definitely banned and they're definitely illegal.
That's crazy.
SARM is a selective androgen receptor modulator. Your androgen is a receptor and it modulates it. So it literally goes to the receptor and it mimics the hormone like testosterone, or it mimics the backbone of certain hormones your body creates naturally, but it's not those. It's a selective androgen receptor modulator. So it goes and it tells it a different gene expression than it's known. And none of them have ever passed any rat or mice studies because all of them at even low dosages caused cancer and tumors. And
Damn, that's crazy.
And there's never been one that's been FDA approved or passed. And if Big Pharma knew there was a use for any of them, they would, like Big Pharma's coming around on peptides. RFK just went on Joe Rogan and said they're putting out 14 more that are going to be FDA approved.
Wow.
Added to the list. 14 more is a lot.
Are some of those that are on the list? Are those some that you would like to carry at Dynamic 3?
Oh, we're putting them on as soon as we can.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
And they're great, and they're stuff that's been they were allowed like 5-10 years ago, and then they were put on the list because who knows why? I mean, I have my conspiracy theories on why.
Yeah.
But right now we're in kind of like an awakening phase where people are starting to. Big Pharma still wants their hand in it. That's why they patent these drugs. So you can't patent GLP because your body already makes it. So they patent the word Ozempic. You can't patent GLP plus GIP because your body makes GIP. So they just call it Wegovy.
Gotcha.
So you have Ozempic and Wegovy. That's semaglutide and tirzepatide. Semaglutide and tirzepatide are the generic names for them. You can't trademark those because your body already makes it.
Wow, that's crazy.
So they just take the compound, they trademark a new name, they call it that, and then they make it so that you can't say it or sell it. So like if I was on my Instagram and I was like, yeah, I sell Wegovy, but I don't. I sell tirzepatide. I don't sell Wegovy. I do not sell Wegovy. I would get banned and shut down and potentially have a lawsuit against me because I'd be
going against the patent. Yeah,
Exactly.
100%. Yeah, just like anything else.
The one thing that I thought about with our audience being some of athletes and stuff like that, are things like these going to trigger like, positive tests and stuff for those athletes that may get, drug tested and stuff? Like that would be my main concern. Or is that something that I guess Dynamic 3 and doctors would consult about?
We had Ramon Taveras on here, and he's MMA or UFC fighter. He's very, very particular about what he put in his body. I mean, you have to be, obviously, because you're getting tested all the time in the UFC. But yeah, he was running through. He says he doesn't take any peptides just to like be safe of it or whatever. Is there any peptides that you could take and like play in these professional sports and
totally
like
you can take glutathione, you can take NAD, you can take proline, you can take a lot of injectable vitamins and nutrients. But some of the peptides are banned by WADA. WADA is the organization that the Olympics, NFL, NBA, all of the professional sports leagues refer to as like the testing guidelines.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and WADA, there is a saying in all sports: if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And I will definitely say that we don't have anyone that has came to us knowing that they shouldn't take something and asked for it. But I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure people do that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But like we've never had like a
especially if you're in like an off season or something, dude. Like I know some of these guys UFC's not a good example because they take it so serious.
Yeah.
But like some of these other sports, like I'm sure even like bodybuilding might be a little bit different, but like some of them where you might take like 3 years off or whatever, you could probably get on something and be safe for a little bit.
You probably could. I don't know enough about like the screening and the testings of the NFL and other organizations to speak on like how often they do that or what players could, ever get away with in that circumstance.
For sure.
But I just know that like John Jones, Canelo Alvarez, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course.
Canelo Alvarez got caught for
Yeah.
clenbuterol, but he said that he got it because he was eating too much steak from Mexico. And like they could inject that cow with clenbuterol in the thigh, and then you could eat the thigh, and you still wouldn't get enough clenbuterol in your system to pop a drug test.
Yeah. Okay, I
And
see.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
it's like too pure. It's too much.
Yeah. Even like Maria Sharapova, she got caught. She got popped with I think she was doing escalin, or she was doing something for aerobic capacity to help your like oxygen. But like who they say the most dopest the dopiest people on the planet are is endurance athletes, cyclists.
Really? Oh, really?
Lance Armstrong.
For sure. Yeah, dude. The
Ooh,
dude
yeah.
the dude was doing blood doping, but he was also taking every anabolic steroid under the sun to increase his androgenic capacity.
Damn, I did not
He's like a
realize that.
superhuman, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You can go down a rabbit hole with
That's
Lance Armstrong.
crazy.
But he wasn't the only one doing it.
Yeah.
If you research, like, everybody, so that's why, like, his Tour de France that they took from him, everyone in the top 25 was doing it.
Yep.
You can't blame him. Like, it's just like when they took away Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa's home runs. It's like
I saw
it's
that.
like
I'm so glad this
Jose
came up.
Canseco. Like, you can't say, like, the only guy who I ever remember who never took steroids, who was always a freaking stud, was Ken Griffey.
Yep.
That's like the only dude that I would ever in my era. Like, A-Rod got caught.
Yep.
Like, Derek Jeter, he took him. He gained like 20 pounds in 1 year. Like, you look at him, he looked like a boy. The next year, his face was puffy and he was jacked.
Yeah.
Like, they all took him. Tony Gwynn, everybody. Pedro Martinez.
I remember when A-Rod got popped. That's crazy. That's
Yep.
a good. That's a really good bring up. Like,
They say that was like the best
Mark
point
McGwire.
of baseball. Yeah, the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa
Dude,
little
yeah.
run. That steroid baseball was the best baseball.
Yeah,
Really?
but you had a double wow there. Do you remember what else Sammy Sosa did? Cork bat.
what's that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When they. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's
Crazy.
what I'm saying.
Make a good point.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
So like I just gotta think that, like, you know, I'm up for a new contract. I had an ACL injury last year. You know, if I don't get a contract, I might take some peptides or something, get some treatments done in my off season to get regenerative health, because if I don't, I ain't gonna get that contract. So I might as well do it.
For sure. Yeah.
Because even if I do get caught and I'm on the team, they're just gonna fine me. They're not gonna cut me.
Yeah.
And like the amount of John Jones got caught for Masteron. There's been a few MMA fighters that have been caught for steroids that when I hear the steroids they get caught for, I'm like, why were they choosing that one?
Yeah.
Like, for their sport, I
would never even do
would've-
MMA without taking steroids.
Well, I mean,
I would like.
So you got to think of, like, adrenaline and turning that switch on. There's something about steroids and anabolics that, like, people talk about, like, roid rage. I can definitely tell that depending on what I'm taking, like, I can be a little bit of a quicker fuse. But naturally speaking, I'm a guy that, like, I'm not really argumentative and I'm not really the most hostile person. So off rip, like, I'm not looking for conflict. But when I'm on some shit and I'm a little bit depleted, I'm not shying away from it.
Yeah.
I'm much more like, oh, you're following me close today, buddy. Like, but if, like, I'm not on anything and, like, I'm fully fed, like, you can tailgate me all you want. I won't even give a shit.
Yeah.
You catch me at
The wrong time.
The wrong time. Like,
Yeah.
I'll even feel my own psyche, and I'll be like, dude, you don't care about stuff like that. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
But right now you do.
Yeah.
So, like, I could only imagine, like, you ever heard of something called a check drop? So a check drop got famous because they said that's what Mike Tyson took before he bit off Evander Holyfield's ear. A check drop is a methylated testosterone that absorbs through your mouth. And it hits you and it stays in your system for about 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours. And it's known for, like, power lifters, MMA fighters, boxers, to abuse this. Because in a title fight where they do urinalysis, you would get caught with it. But in, like, a non-title fight where they're not doing urinalysis, you could get away with it. And what it does to the brain and the body of straight aggression is, like, an out of body experience.
Really?
Yeah, like, you can look up some people's testimonies of taking it, and, like, they wanted to put their foreheads through walls. Like, like, contact to their brain didn't bother them. Like,
That's crazy.
And aren't they trying to talk about doing like like legal allow people to do steroids for fighting, or like there's
Yeah, I saw
some
something
sort of
about
sporting league where they're allowing it? And
I
I'm
saw
like, that would be
enhanced.
honestly inciting.
it's called the Enhanced League.
That's it.
So, yes, I would love to see.
Me too.
Dude, but this is the thing, man. This is the thing. They're like, if I had to say, like, what percentage of professional athletes at the highest level, they have physicians, like, they're multi-millionaires at that level. They have physicians that know how long things stay in the system for.
Yeah.
They can do whole body IV stem cell treatments. Like, there's things that they have access to that, like, our minds don't conceive.
Yeah.
And Are they banned? Yes. But are they still doing them? Yes. And are they able to get caught? Not all the time.
Yeah.
So, that whole world of people using peptides for recovery and preventative and professional athletes, I think most of them are going to get into it when they retire. Like, they'll fully dive in because they want to heal their bodies. But I think the ones that are only going to do it are the ones that are on top trying to stay on top, or the ones that are in like a contract year.
Yeah.
I think the person that signs like a 3 to 5 year deal with 90 million guaranteed, he really doesn't have much motivation to risk getting popped.
True, yeah.
Because his contract is set. But if you're in a contract year deal and you got 2 rookies behind you that need the same contract, like, you might look for an edge.
Oh, 100%.
So like there's places in sports, like all sports, that like the pitcher that has a Tommy John surgery, like, might want to take something extra.
For sure.
Heal a little faster.
Yeah.
100%. And then you're afraid that you might hurt it again. So you might want to take something while you're in middle of your hardest part of your season to prevent it, get the mind right for like preventing it from happening. But
yeah.
The way that our company works is, because we're like a front facing company, like if a professional athlete, and we have professional athletes that work with us, but they're only literally ever interested in like coming and getting an IV, or taking something that is going to boost their glutathione, like natural things. Mm-hmm. We don't have anyone that's came to us that's ever asked for peptides or anything illegal.
I'm sure there's like a ton of like crazy things that can come with that too. It can be bad for the company and stuff. Sure, I'm sure it could be a very bad look on the company.
The thing that runs any company into the ground is trying to do one-offs. You want to have a standard approach that treats everybody the same and is specific to the person, but also not like so specific to the person that it can't
work for others too.
Yeah.
You want to. It would be nice to go to a place like, when you're going to Dynamic 3, you're getting the same treatment as some of these hot, like super crazy hybrid athletes like in their prime. You know what I mean? You're getting the same type of treatment, which is a cool thing.
We're blessed that we have the quarterback for Florida State as one of our athletes, and he comes into our clinic and he just gets an IV bag with some glutathione, some B vitamins, and some proline. It's an amino acid, and he's one of my nutrition clients, and he just eats 7 meals a day, 6 meals a day, and a protein shake. And but when his playing days are over, I'm sure that he's going to have some injuries and some knickknacks that he's going to need to heal and get better.
100%.
I'm really thankful that we got to do this, guys, and if we can do this again another time, that'd be great.
Oh, David, 100%, bro. Dude, thank you for coming through, man.
Yeah. I want to talk more about it, and like obviously off camera, and just like I'd be interested. So, I guess to maybe close it off, and as somebody who's walking into Dynamic 3 that has no idea what they may be even walking in for, is there going to be somebody in a support system that can, let's say, like, hey, let's talk about what it is that you may be having concerns about? And
so you brought up the best point. The first thing that we do in patient care is we go through problems and correlations. So problem you're experiencing is maybe it's lethargy, maybe it's brain fog, maybe it's poor libido. What do we do with that information? We don't throw spaghetti at the wall. We don't go based on the symptom. We go based on the correlation. What's the correlating factor? Your blood work. So you come into our clinic and you're looking just for peptides and you don't feel good. We're not just going to sell you peptides. We're going to say, hey, let's get your blood work and let's see like where you're really inefficient and where your body's not running correctly. Because maybe your thyroid's overworking and you're drained because your thyroid's overworking, and BPC 157 is not going to fix your thyroid. So you came in for one thing, but really we need another. So that's another reason why you come to us. We first focus on blood work, and that's what medical oversight looks at. Mm-hmm. So the physician's going to look at blood work and then go over screening questions that you answer to make sure that you're qualified and are safe to take these supplements or injections.
Hell yeah.
Prescriptions. So it's, nowadays you drive a Tesla. Mm-hmm. Do they do diagnostics reports on Teslas?
Oh, yeah.
If they told you that they had to fix 3 things, but they didn't have a diagnostics report, what would you do? take it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Like, sounds a little fishy, guys.
Exactly.
Same thing's kind of true with a telemedicine or any health company that is trying to simply prescribe based on
what you're saying. Instead of like just
a report.
Yeah, the facts, you know, like what's really going on with your blood work.
Yeah, and the blood work is going to correlate what you're experiencing to make sure that we're nailing one thing. And you remember a Venn diagram?
Yeah.
The 3 circles?
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're nailing all 3 that correlate. You don't want to hit outside the box, outside the circles.
Yeah.
So when you look at blood work, you're going to have an understanding for where the patient is on paper and what they're describing, they're feeling, and you're going to be able to make a correlation to, okay, my energy levels are low. Well, your thyroid's not working very well, and you have low testosterone. Okay, we can address both of those things. Come back 90 days, do another blood test once we've implemented these therapies, check the blood work again, make sure that the protocol worked.
Yeah.
So if somebody has pre-existing care and they're transferring their care, we still make them get blood work because we don't want to just go by face value. We want to see it for ourselves.
I like that a lot.
If the blood work's valid within 60 days, then we allow that to transfer. But we definitely want to see something on paper so that we're not just throwing spaghetti on the wall. Because I know so many people that come to us and they're like, well, I tried this, this, and this. And I'm like, have you had blood work done? They're like, no. And I'm like, well, what are you going to try next?
Yeah.
Let's get blood work done.
Yeah.
And then they get blood work done, and it's nothing that they even expected. It was progesterone, or it was red blood cell count. They needed to go donate blood, like things that their mind couldn't have conceived.
Yeah.
But if you turn it over to the right people that have the right understanding for what they're looking at, you're going to get better direction. You're not going to spin your wheels. You're going to. It's like, what's the worst advice? Free advice. Why? Because if you didn't pay for it and you put it into value, like you implemented it and it was wrong, then you got to backtrack and then you got to go find someone to pay for real advice.
For sure.
So it's like, I always tell people, I get wary of free advice. I don't like, if someone gives me free advice for like investing or stocks or something, I'm like, I take that shit as a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There's no way that I'm going to listen to your free advice. Who are you to give me free advice?
I know.
Yeah.
Make me lose my ass.
Yeah.
I don't listen to your
100%.
free advice. I want qualified advice.
I know.
Yeah. For sure.
Show me the badge or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, like whenever anyone gives free advice when it comes to financial, I definitely get weary because who's that generous?
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Like who's
That is so true.
The truth of the matter is, when someone's giving you financial advice, they're telling you where their money is, so they want you to put your money where their money is so they feel safer about their money.
Yeah, true.
That's the facts about dumb people that give financial advice. Like, and I have a financial advisor, and I've never asked him what he does with my money or what he's doing or what he's going to do, because he's me for fitness.
Yeah.
I trust him. I mean, I'm not going to micromanage him to do that. That's what his job is. You come to me for peptides or nutrition, and I send you a nutrition plan, and you tell me you want 3 of the 4 foods that you used to eat that got you in the position you are. I'm going to tell you the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
you hired me to fix you, not to enable the same self-defeating behaviors.
100%.
What are we going to do here?
Yeah.
So, like, when people give free advice, it's always be very eerie of their angle. Like in a setting like this, free advice is something that's providing value to a content, to a video.
For sure.
That's
yeah.
something that can be applied.
Yeah.
But like, if somebody's like, dude, I gotta hook up on a stock for you, man, it's like, sure you do.
The number one place you'll hear a ton of free advice is the fucking bar, dude. If we're
Yeah.
being honest, like you have
Yeah.
a couple of drinks and then everyone turns into a financial advisor. Everyone's a genius, you know.
They all know crypto inside.
yeah,
and out.
yeah.
Let me show you my parlay.
Yeah, exactly. There it is.
No way.
David, thank you so much,
Yeah,
brother.
man, I
Seriously,
appreciate it, guys.
pleasure
This
having
was
you on the
awesome.
show.
Totally.
And dude, would love to hit the gym with you one day, man. Seriously, I
Yeah.
want to see these workouts in person, bro.
Let's do
'cause
it.
The videos are great and you're killing them with him. But I gotta see it in person, bro. You're crushing it. Anything that we can do to help you in the future, or any advice you have for us going forward, especially with health and things like that, we're not looking for financial advice from you. Don't worry. But anything.
Hire Mike Scofo, Fortress Wellness.
Hell yeah.
Or I mean, Fortress Wealth.
Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show,
Yeah, man.
y'all. OGs, this is episode 149. This is 149. Y'all, we have one episode left. Our season finale will be next week of the OG Sessions podcast. Shout out to everyone that's listening, and shout out to everyone that's been rocking with us throughout this long 50-episode season.
Thank you,
y'all
guys.
are the shit. Once again, David, thank you very much. We'll see y'all next time.
See you guys.